Greetings, my fellow from Love Shopping Thinkers. This is LL3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date is Monday, September 18, 2017. Looks like most of the schools in South Florida are open. However, the few may not have power, so they're going to be fixing that ASAP. At the library downtown, so you can hear some hooting and hollering from some of the disturbed individuals, which is nothing new at all. What gets me, I was like checking out the whole thing with Insane Clown Posse fans called the Juggalos, and they were being accused of a gang organization or something, and I just find it very disturbing. You're talking to an individual who's not diehard fan of the band, of the group by any means, but they never really had the actual concept, their roots, and what they're really about. Yeah, they wear clown makeup, so what? Yeah, a lot of people out there that do love and care for each other. A lot of folks came from broken homes, a lot of white kids as well. And this particular hip-hop, horror, rock group, where everyone will call them, been around for a good 20 some odd years. And the FBI says they're a gang organization. One thing they find it hilarious because the FBI needs to take a look in the mirror, because the truth of the matter is they are the tyrannical organization. J. Edgar Hoover was very inspired by the Nazi organization on collecting information, and he got some of his agents out there to learn how to collect the stuff. Don't be surprised if J. Edgar Hoover had a altar of Adolf Hitler and climaxes at night. They want to be just like him, allegedly speaking. Well, they had this big rally over there. Like it was Saturday, marching Washington D.C. and all that. So everyone, they all have their little unusual outfits, but they felt very good to each other. They showed mutual respect for one another. They stood for what was right. It's really funny because it's not like this cult following Insane Clown Posse. It looks like many of the people may have may call them like the deadheads of Detroit. I don't know. I've been to a good amount of Griffith Dead shows in the late 1989 and 90, so I could really say that. But what really gets me, the whole thing, is everyone needs to start looking at the fine print instead of focusing on face value. Just another part of social engineering, mind control 101. And this is another good example of how the government wants to manipulate you. Tyrannical elements in the United States government try to con you, scam you, make you the fall guy. I'll say this for sure, one thing for sure. Insane Clown Posse are not criminals, they're not state, they're not bastards or pieces of garbage or anything like that. They do have the music, with mainly hip hop. They have a few blues tunes in there and all that. Well, you know what? A lot of it's good humor, a lot of it's shocking, a lot of it's about love. They are fathers, both of them. They're proud of their children. They love them to death. Many of these individuals in the Juggalo Nation, Insane Clown Posse fans, are working class families. Do love for their kids. You're going to have a few bad elements and everywhere else. Nothing new. But you can't attack them collectively like anyone else. This is why I get a little bit insulted when I hear this rhetoric that the Federal Bureau of Investigation had the audacity to call one particular group, Juggalo Nation, a gang. You're the gang. You're the tyrants. You keep A. Juggalo Hoover's legacy going. You're the felons. Many of you in there love to eavesdrop on people's conversations, use warrantless searches, and harassing them, threatening them with files and blackmailing them by any means. That's part of the history of the dark side of the FBI. Yes, I can say that. I have a show about that as well, which John Whitehead from the Rutherford Institute did a report on it. Plenty of information, and many others followed through. Project Camelot, too, part of the FBI plan. All right? We've got to look at that. So, the nature of Mars may still be forever free. So, you Insane Clown Posse fans, just keep going. Don't give up. Don't surrender. You're not alone. I say that in good faith. That's what the information war is about. We don't have to. Many of you must be fans of the music. Don't have to talk to you. Don't have to like me. We have the right to exist because you do things peacefully. You're not violating other spaces. And that's how I see about the Juggalo Nation. The FBI needs to be ashamed of themselves. You should all go down there with big FBI's banner saying Hoover was Hitler's mentor. You see how they react. You see how the anti-defamation reacts to that because they like to bow down to the government, like to manipulate. They'll go crazy. I guarantee you that. Abraham Fox will be infuriated, but you know what? Who the hell cares? It's called the information war, my friends. That's what the main objective. That's the bottom line. That's what free speech is about. That's how I see it. Government, keep out, including them. They're still our brothers and sisters regardless. Anyone here that's listening can make a difference. Don't have to sit around there with your hands in your pockets or your thumb up your rectum. You can take notes, you can take initiative, you can pass out information. Put the truth out. Scapegoating is for cowards and wussies. If the Federal Bureau of Investigation don't like it, too bad. Because the truth damn hurts. It really hurts them. And that is it. I'm talking about Insane Clown Posse. And I haven't heard their speech yet. I heard there's a video on that, on the 31 minutes before the march. I might have to give it a listen. And hear what the judges from the ICP have to say. I'll just add this little footnote. They're not dummies. They climbed out of poverty. Now you want to attack them and their supporters. What's the matter? You're just so desperate because the tyrannical elements in the government are worried of getting their butts whipped in the information war. We're not buying their propaganda matrix. We're actually burning the legacy of Edward Bernays' book called Propaganda. Fear is the greatest weapon, my friend. We can counter it. And I see the walls are cracking. A lot of areas. And what's occurring. And I am excited to be alive, to see this with my own eyes. Hopefully you are feel the same. Alright, enough of that. My little rant. And okay, so do a few things here pertaining to the Constitution and government. In one moment. It is 5:15, sir. You got it, mate. And right now it is. I'm going to start off here because it was Constitution Day yesterday, and this came from the Foundation of Economic Education Fee by Gary M. Gals. Constitutional ignorance led to tyranny of the majority. Constitution Day, September 17, marks the anniversary of the 1787 signing. Students will be taught about it, but not because of its importance. It is now a mandatory topic for every educational institution receiving federal aid. Ooh, hold on. Sorry about that. However, what won't be taught is the irony of that requirement, which originated from man then described as a Senate leading constitutional scholar while clearing conflicting with the Constitution. In 2004, Senator Robert Byrd added this requirement to a pork-filled spending bill that was blatantly inconsistent with Americans' general welfare. It also clearly overstepped the 10th Amendment's restriction of the federal government to only its enumerated powers. Interesting about Robert Byrd, he was a Klansman, I believe a Grand Wizard for the Klansmen, and supported the Patriot Act. What a confounded hypocrite. Can we say that? Yes, I can. He's now dead. May still rest in shame. We're probably in the same cesspool dimension with David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski. His solutions aside, Byrd was correct about America's inadequate constitutional knowledge, as one National Constitution Center poll concluded. Only 1 in 6 of us claim detailed knowledge of the Constitution, despite the fact that 2/3 said it was absolutely essential to have. Lack of knowledge is a dangerous thing. In other words, Americans know little about our Constitution to maintain their freedoms it was designed to protect. Instead, our ignorance led us to sacrificing rights out of undue deference to majority rule. Alexander Hamilton asserted that real liberty is not found in the extremes of democracy. America's Constitution does not endorse majority rule. Our founding fathers did believe in voting to select who should entrust with the power of government, but the more important and prior question they addressed was, what powers do the people delegate to the federal government to exercise on their behalf? That's the question. That is why so much of the Constitution, particularly the Bill of Rights, is devoted to what government is not allowed to do. Regardless of majority sentiment, as Jefferson said, our founders fought not for democracy, but for a government tied down from the mischief by the chains of the Constitution. It's interesting because, like I say, about Alexander Hamilton, we all know he was a bankster, okay? So we'll just proceed from here. In fact, our founder had a great distrust of majority rule. Alexander Hamilton asserted that real liberty and what? I don't know why they put that in there twice. That is interesting. Hold on here. Sometimes these reading things, you know, like reader's view, it gets a little bit repeated. Okay. In fact, our founders had great distrust of majority rule. Alexander Hamilton said that real liberty is found in extreme. Yeah. Okay. It says here. Yeah, and in fact, I found this just a majority rule. Alexander Hamilton asserted that real liberty is not found in the sphere of democracy. James Madison said democracies have been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and have in general been as short as in their lives as they have been violent in their deaths. Thomas Jefferson warned that elected despotism was not the government we fought, and that the majority oppressing an individual is guilty of a crime. Abuse is restrained, and by acting the law, the strongest breaks up the foundations of society. This is why the Constitution contains multiple non-majority rules to protect Americans against federal abuses, such as presidential veto power, and the super majorities required to change the Constitution. It's the rationale for the Supreme Court's power to strike down unconstitutional laws, regardless of how many congressional votes they receive. That's right, it's null and void. If anyone supports unconstitutional referendums, it's considered a crime, a felony offense. No ands, ifs, or buts. Individual rights are not subject to a public vote, despite our founders' antipathy toward pure majority rule. Many today feel that our founders' opposition to unlimited democracy can be squared with political determination of everything by adding the phrase also protecting the rights of the minority. However, as Ayn Rand put it, individual rights are not subject to a public vote. A majority has no right to vote away the rights of minority. The political function of rights is precisely to protect minorities from oppression by majorities, and the smallest minority on earth is the individual. Consequently, our lack of constitutional knowledge means that believing in protecting the rights of minorities does not actually protect them, when they are outvoted. Since Americans did not clearly understand the constitutional rights against American abuses, the unwise habit of defense to political majorities result in those rights being steamrolled whenever more than 50% of the vote to do so. Examples are plentiful because despite the Constitution's imposition of strictly limited enumerated federal powers, there is no idea it does now reach, if not dominate. And with our protections eroding, majority voting control more and more of what our founders thought they made off limits to political determination. Sadly, as we can't effectively defend what we are only vaguely aware of, American inattention to the highest law of the land puts our most essential rights and liberties at risk. We may think we have inalienable rights as liberals or parents asserts, but those rights are protected by the Constitution only if we know what they are, and we remember that the federal government was not granted power to take them away based on a simple majority vote. Unless, once again, we take our rights seriously as our founders and vigorously defend our constitutional safeguards and maintain them, even against majority pressures. The system of self-government our founders left us will continue to erode. But when we don't even recognize the irony of a federal mandate to promote understanding of the Constitution, especially when it is consistent with the Constitution, we are unprepared to do anything to effectively preserve its protections against government abuse. Well, some of the things you have to really look at too, my friends: natural born rights, Bill of Rights, etc. So, best thing to do is start reading it and share with everyone you know. Don't skip, don't compromise, or anything like that. Can it have its flaws? Yeah, I can say that, because remember, it's all run by human beings. We have to look at the bigger picture, the overall scale. You were born free. Not anybody owns no more a piece of property. They want you to believe that. They want you to think you're their slave. You gotta say piss on them at times. Because everyone has this, whoa, we feel sorry for me. That doesn't work either. That's for the weak and the pathetic. You're going to go out there and want to feel sorry for yourself, you're not getting any respect at all. That's how you have to see. That's how you have to see things. Observe, acknowledge, share, study, read. Education is key. Don't go there and assume because they say so they're right. I laugh at them. I laugh at these politicians. It doesn't matter if they're Democrats or Republicans, it doesn't matter. Regardless. If you're a treasonous quack, I'm going to call you out. So, that's one thing you have to look at. Vigilance is key, my friends. And I'm going to hit this next one here. This one came from same site. See, Daniel J. Mitchell says here, government run amok at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, BATF, must be anxious to get on my list of government bureaucracies that shouldn't exist. The bureaucracies have engaged in some really silly and petty behavior, such as confiscating airsoft toy guns because they might be machine guns. And they have engaged in some behavior that is criminally stupid and dangerous, running guns to Mexican drug gangs as part of the Fast and Furious fiasco. If it's not one thing, it's another. Now we have another example. Though it is so bizarre that I'm not sure how to classify it. Basically, the bureaucrats create an illegal slush fund, and then they use the money illegally. New York Times has put it on the top of this story. Here are excerpts from the latest report. For 7 years, agents at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives file an unwritten policy. If you need to buy something of one of your cases, don't bother asking Washington. Talk to agents in Bristol, Virginia, who control a multi-million-dollar account unrestricted by Congress as a bureaucracy. Thousands of pages of newly unsealed records reveal a widespread scheme. A highly unorthodox merger of an undercover law enforcement operation and a legitimate business. What began as a way to catch a black market cigarette dealers quickly transformed into a nearly untraceable ATF slush fund that agents from around the country tap. One agent steers hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate, electronics, and money to his church and his children's sports team's record show. But at least millions of dollars moved to the account before it was shut down in 2013, but no one can say for sure how much. The government never tracked it. Oh, by the way, the VATF was breaking a law. Federal law prohibits mixing government and private money. The ATF now acknowledges it can point to no legal justification for the scheme, but it won't surprise you to learn that there have been no consequences. Quote, they're special. Alright? No one was ever prosecuted. Congress was only recently notified, and the Justice Department tried for years to keep the record secret. And it is also worth noting that this is also a tax issue. I've noted before, high tax rates encourage illegality. Though cigarettes are available at any corner store, they are extraordinarily profitable to smuggle. That's because taxes are high in every state at its own rates. Virginia charges $3 per carton. New York charges $43.53. The simplest scheme, buying cigarettes in Virginia and selling them tax-free in New York, can generate tens of thousands of dollars in illicit cash. By some estimates, more than half of New York cigarettes come from the black market. By the way, I can't help but wonder why the federal government is engaged in all sorts of dodgy behavior to help enforce bad state tax laws. Yes, I realize the cigarettes across the state lines, but so what? The illegal but not immoral behavior occurs when an untaxed cigarette is sold inside a border of, say, New York. Why should Washington get involved? In other words, I like the fact that borders limit powers of the government. It's why I don't like global schemes to undermine tax competition. Why should Swiss banks be required to enforce bad U.S. tax laws? And it is why I don't like the so-called Marketplace Fairness Act. Why should merchants in one state be required to enforce sales tax on other states? But I'm digressing. Let's get back to Bureau's misbehavior. Here is some additional reporting from the UK-based Times. A U.S. government crime-fighting agency. U.S. government crime-fighting agency ran a secret bank account that its employees used to buy luxury cars, property, and trips to casinos. Officers of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Farm and Explosives, ATF, charged with investigating smuggling of gun crimes, built up a slush fund with tens of millions of dollars in illicit cigarette sales, ostensibly as part of an operation to catch traffickers. The scandal is the latest controversy to hit the agency, which has been criticized in recent years for a lack of accountability and allowing the flow of guns and drugs go unchecked. Cash from the slush fund generated at an ATF field office in Bristol, Virginia, funded activities such as a trip to Las Vegas, donations to agents, children, and the booking of a $21,000 suite at a NASCAR race. Wow, man. Can I get that job too and have to be a bend over Bob and be an ignorant prick and have said that I'm pro-government, I hate freedom as on my resume? They'll probably hire me right on the spot, right? But that's not all. And what about the overall BATF bureaucracy? Well, it is getting some unfavorable attention. Keep in mind that the scandal is on the top of the Fast and Furious scandal of the Obama years. The ATF has said that it has implemented substantial enhancements to its policies and has markedly improved leadership, training, communication, accountability, and operational oversight. Under the previous administration, it was widely derided for a botched weapons operation known as Fast and Furious. The agency also allowed licensed firearm dealers to sell weapons to illegal buyers, hoping to track the guns to Mexican drug cartel kingpins. But out of the 2,000 firearms sold, only a fraction have been traced. The secret account scandal has renewed calls from across the political spectrum for the department of about 2,000 agents to be reformed or shut down. But last but not least, I think a new number of a bureaucrat Hall of Fame. Tom Lanzak, a senior ATF investigator, began the scheme. Mr. Lanzak retired with his pension and was not reprimanded, just like Lois Lerner and the IRS, engaging in corrupt and crooked behavior, then escaping any punishment. Maybe the two of them should hook up. That's right. Make scumbag and make love like a bunch of slime bags and have offspring that give them the red carpet treatment as well, right? They make a great couple. I'm sure they can figure out a way to make taxpayers finance their wedding and honeymoon and maybe giving birth. P.S. Fast and Furious scheme was just one of the scandals that occurred during the Obama years, but it may have been most foolish. Didn't anybody at the BATF realize that it wasn't a good idea to funnel weapons to Mexican drug gangs? P.S. The silver lining to that dark cloud is that we got a couple of good one-liners about the Bond Mistress's gun running scandal from Janet J. Leno to Jimmy Fallon. It was originally reprinted from the International Living. Ooh, man, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, we gotta shut this entity down. It's been a total bust, even from the very beginning, since the 1920s, to start to enforce prohibition, to enforce rum runners, bootleggers, okay? That was the original task. And what happened was, after prohibition ended, they go, oh my God, we're gonna lose our jobs. So they started making all these BS gun laws, and look what happened. Yeah, remember what happened? Remember what occurred in Ruby Ridge, Idaho? And how about Waco? Yeah, the Waco massacres. But they got a medal for doing their jobs, right? How astute of them. They believe you guys are so obtuse and pathetic. They said, you can't do anything about it. And you know what? I believe this. In good faith, do a total shutdown or pure restriction on the ATF with every state in the union. We're going to bring them in when it's necessary. That's it. But thereafter, they should be roaming the gun shows or anything like that. Every sheriff in the county around the country come down. Effing beat it. Take a hike. They need or not. They need to be abolished completely. That's how I look at this organization. They are the criminals of freedom, criminals of our Bill of Rights and Constitution. Ooh, okay. Well, next one here. This one here. Be back here. Yeah, well, actually, that's going to be it for now. I'm going to do another narration later, probably later on tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to leave that in the memo. It's got to be doing a little run around. But however, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share it through your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or send me something that's interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please address your correspondence with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Films Network, scene.liveminds.com, futurenet.club, and patreon.com/LokiLook3 with 3 eyes. If you want to be a patron, donor, and all that, that'd be awesome. I would love you still, okay? In addition, you can email me at LokiLook3@gmail.com or the encrypted ones, LokiLook03@protonmail.com. Okay, that is it for now. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the monarchic resistance helps to fulfill and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love. May your guardian spirits be with you.